80,000 pounds of steel moving at 70 miles per hour. Close enough that you can feel the shift in air pressure as they pass by. You've been passing them your entire life. At rest areas, at truck stops, on every major highway across the country. You've seen the drivers standing at the fuel islands, a cup of coffee in one hand, a baseball cap pulled low, their backs turned toward you, already headed somewhere else before you've even finished filling your gas tank. But here's something most people have never heard. There's a version of this job that nobody advertises. Not the trucking companies, not the recruiters, not the YouTube channels showing off $600,000 sleeper cabs and sunrise views over the Rocky Mountains. A version that experienced drivers know well and rarely talk about. Because the culture says you don't complain, you don't stop, you deliver the load, and you keep moving. A version that explains why this industry loses nearly 100% of its new drivers every year. Why veteran drivers develop health problems that quietly build up over decades. And why some of the most essential workers in the country are also the most invisible. So what is the truth behind the wheel that nobody wants to talk about? What happens to the human body after 15 years of sitting for 11 hours a day? What does the industry know about driver health that never makes it into the job postings? And what would the drivers who have lived through it say if someone finally asked the right questions? Because the truth may not be what you think. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how this job affects the people who do it. The physical reality, the systemic pressures, and the quiet dignity of the men and women behind the wheel who carry the burden without ever asking for recognition. Let's be clear about what we're really talking about. In the United States, there are approximately 3.5 million truck drivers. The trucking industry moves roughly 72% of all freight in the country. More than rail, air, and ocean shipping combined. Everything in a grocery store. Every medication stocked in a hospital supply room. Every piece of furniture displayed in a showroom was delivered by truck. The industry generates more than $940 billion in annual revenue. By any measure, it is one of the most economically important industries in the nation. And the people who keep it running are facing a health crisis that almost nobody talks about publicly. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration requires commercial drivers to pass a Department of Transportation physical exam every 2 years. On paper, that sounds like adequate oversight. But in reality, drivers quickly learn how to make it through the exam. They hide symptoms. They delay diagnoses. They avoid reporting medical conditions that could cost them their medical certification. Not because they're dishonest. Because losing a medical certificate often means losing their job. And for many drivers, that job is their only source of financial stability. So why does this happen? Because the structure of the industry creates it. In most cases, drivers are paid by the mile, not by the hour. That means time spent not moving is money lost. A doctor's appointment in Tulsa means losing miles. A day off because of back pain means a smaller paycheck. The system rewards movement and penalizes stopping, even when stopping is exactly what the body needs. Think about what most people do when they don't feel well. They call in sick. They rest. They go to a doctor when symptoms don't go away. They have that option because their income doesn't immediately disappear the moment they stop working. Truck drivers don't have the same option. When the truck isn't moving, the money isn't coming in. And when the money stops coming in, the bills keep coming. That's not a complaint. That's math. And math has consequences. Most people believe the physical toll of trucking comes down to one thing: long hours behind the wheel. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. You sit all day. You don't exercise. You eat at truck stops. You gain weight. That's the simple version most people imagine. And it's not entirely wrong. Obesity rates among commercial truck drivers are significantly higher than those of the general population. Study after study shows that drivers are more likely to be overweight. They smoke more and exercise less than workers in most other industries. But treating this as nothing more than a lifestyle choice ignores the structural reality behind it. A driver running Interstate 40 between Albuquerque and Oklahoma City covers roughly 540 miles during a single shift. That's 8 to 9 hours of continuous driving. During that time, he's not supposed to leave the truck except for fuel stops. And even then, the clock is still running. Federal hours of service regulations count all working time, not just driving time. A 30-minute stop for a meal directly reduces available working hours. A driver who stops for 30 minutes may lose roughly 35 miles of earning potential at average highway speeds. The incentive is to keep moving. Always. Every stop comes with a cost. And there's something else. Driving a Class 8 truck is not a passive activity. You're constantly making steering corrections, monitoring 6 mirrors at the same time, managing air brakes, shifting gears, and compensating for load movement through turns. The cognitive workload is intense and lasts for hours. By the time the shift ends, the body is genuinely exhausted. But not in the way most people think of physical fatigue. It's exhaustion caused by prolonged stress and sustained vigilance, not physical exertion. Sleep helps. Exercise doesn't automatically follow. As a result, year after year, the body remains tired while overall fitness steadily declines. And that combination creates consequences that build slowly and silently over time. But that's only the beginning. But there's something few people know about, even though it profoundly affects the lives of truck drivers. A landmark study published in the Journal of Occupational and Environmental Medicine followed commercial truck drivers over a 10-year period. It found that rates of high blood pressure, diabetes, sleep apnea, and musculoskeletal disorders were significantly higher among drivers than among the general working population. The study found that nearly 69% of drivers screened positive for at least one medical condition that could affect safe driving. Not 1 or 2%, 69%. But here's the detail that rarely comes up in conversation. Sleep apnea, a condition in which breathing repeatedly stops during sleep, affects roughly 28% of commercial truck drivers, compared to about 5% of the general adult population. Left untreated, sleep apnea causes daytime fatigue, slower reaction times, and cognitive impairment. In an 80,000 pound vehicle traveling at highway speeds, impaired reaction time is not an abstract risk. It's a direct public safety issue. Yet the treatment, using a CPAP machine while sleeping, requires power, space, and consistent nightly use in an environment that is constantly changing. Drivers who spend nights far from reliable power sources, park in conditions that make quality sleep difficult, or simply avoid medical exams and remain undiagnosed are often left managing the condition without treatment. One driver named Rick, who spent 23 years driving out of Denver, recalled being diagnosed with sleep apnea at age 52 after years of waking up exhausted no matter how many hours he slept. He had been driving while fatigued for more than a decade without understanding why. The diagnosis required him to report the condition to the FMCSA, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. He spent 3 weeks unsure whether he would be allowed to keep his commercial driver's license. In the end, he kept it. But during those 3 weeks of paperwork and review, he was at home without an income. That's the reality behind a healthcare system that is supposed to protect everyone on the road. And here's the fact that leaves many people stunned. The average life expectancy of a commercial truck driver in the United States is approximately 61 years. Meanwhile, the national average life expectancy is 78 years. A difference of 17 years. 17 years. A driver who retires at age 60 after 35 years behind the wheel, statistically speaking, may have only about 1 year of retirement before reaching the average age at which drivers in the profession pass away. Take a moment to think about that. These are the people who move 72% of America's freight. The people who kept driving throughout the pandemic when almost nobody else was on the road. The people who delivered vaccines, medical supplies, and grocery shipments, helping keep the country functioning during the worst public health crisis in a century. These workers have an average lifespan that is 17 years shorter than the national average. And what makes this even more troubling is that the industry knows it. The research has existed for years. Studies from the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and numerous academic institutions all point to the same pattern. cardiovascular disease, diabetes, musculoskeletal deterioration, sleep disorders, and mental health conditions that often go untreated because the culture does not encourage treatment. The industry's response has come in small steps. Some companies have added wellness programs. Some have installed more comfortable seats. Others have introduced healthier food options at company facilities. These are real improvements, but they do not match the scale of a 17-year life expectancy gap. A driver who starts working at 25 and retires at 60 has devoted 35 years to the profession. He helped keep store shelves stocked. He helped keep hospitals supplied. He drove through Wyoming blizzards, Arizona heat warnings, and 11-mile construction backups outside Chicago. He did it without complaining, without asking for recognition, and in many cases, he retires without a pension, with a body that has aged faster than normal because the system was designed around moving freight, not around protecting him. That's the truth behind the wheel, and it's time somebody said it out loud. It's 2:13 in the morning. You're parked at a rest area off Interstate 80 just outside Laramie, Wyoming. You've been driving since 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. 11 straight hours. You stopped when you hit your legal limit. Your lower back started aching around hour 8. The familiar pain on the lower left side. The same pain that's been there ever since a delivery outside Flagstaff 3 years ago. You've learned how to manage it. A heating pad on the seat. Stretching at gas stations when time allows. Ibuprofen when it gets bad. You never went to physical therapy because the last time you tried to schedule an appointment, it happened to be in a city 400 miles away on the day of the visit. You're 54 years old. You've been driving for 26 years. You started at 28. 2 children under the age of 5, a mortgage in Omaha, and an income that wasn't enough to cover the bills. A friend introduced you to long-haul trucking, better pay, home whenever possible. You thought it would only be for a few years. 26 years later, you're still here. Your children are grown now. Your daughter has 2 children of her own, your grandchildren, and you only see them about 4 times a year. Last Christmas, you drove 900 miles during your time off just to spend 2 days at home. You left again on December 27th. The kids cried. You told them Dad would be back soon. You believed it. You always do. This is what most people will never understand about this job. It isn't one single sacrifice. It isn't one bad year that you push through before life returns to normal. It's 26 years of small absences adding up to something larger, quieter, and permanent. Birthdays that became phone calls. School events you only heard about after they were already over. A marriage that survived. Sometimes fragile, sometimes stronger, and eventually happy. Because your wife is one of the strongest people you've ever known, and she built a life that could function without you for most of the year. You didn't choose this because you had no other options. You chose it because your family needed it. Then it became part of who you are, and eventually it became the thing you knew how to do best. This road belongs to you in a way nothing else ever could. You know every truck stop along this corridor. You know which Flying J in Cheyenne has the cleanest showers and which one has the shortest fuel line at 5 in the morning. And you know, whether you say it out loud or not, that your body has been paying the price for 26 years in ways you never fully understood when you first signed up. The people who do this job are not careless. They don't ignore their health because they're lazy. They're people who calculated that the work needed to be done, and they were the ones who knew how to do it. That calculation comes with a cost that never appears on a freight invoice or delivery receipt. What they carry inside themselves, in their backs, in their hearts, and in the space between the life they have and the life they once imagined, is invisible to the people passing them on the highway. The freight gets delivered. The shelves stay stocked. The system keeps working. And the people who make that possible quietly absorb the cost in truck stop parking lots, shipping docks, and in the distance between what this job provides and what it demands. So the next time you pass a truck on the highway, don't just see the cargo. See the driver. See someone who has probably been on the road for days. someone with a family somewhere that they're trying to get back to, someone carrying a burden that weighs more than the freight behind them, someone who chose this job and keeps choosing it because it needs to be done and because they're good at it. That's not a small thing. That's an entire lifetime, and it deserves more recognition than it receives. If you're a truck driver, I want to ask you an honest question. After all your years on the road, what's the biggest cost of this profession that people on the outside almost never understand? Maybe it isn't the 1,000-mile trips, the delivery deadlines, or the nights spent sleeping in the cab. Maybe it's the exhaustion that builds up over the years, the rushed meals, the missed family moments, or the quiet changes your body carries after countless hours behind the wheel. Share your story in the comments. I read every comment, and many of the videos on this channel are built from the real experiences that drivers have trusted me to share. And if you've never driven a truck in your life, what surprised you most about today's video? Was it the average life expectancy of drivers, the rate of sleep apnea, or the reality that the system is sometimes designed in a way that makes it easier to keep driving than to stop and rest? Let me know what you think below. Every comment is more than just an opinion. It's an opportunity to help more people understand the men and women who quietly move everything we depend on every day. If you found value in this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to hear more real stories, overlooked truths, and the people behind America's trucking industry. Thank you for watching. Drive safe, take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you in the next video.